ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Namaskar, my dear friends. This is fourth and final video on Aproxa Anubhuti, a very important book for spiritualism, written by Adi Shankaracharya. So I start this video with stanza number 115. अंगानां समतां विद्यात् समे ब्रह्मणि लीनतां नो चन्नैव समान्तौ मृत्यु तत्वं सूक्ष्मवृक्षवतः. Absorption in the uniform Brahma should be known as the equipoise of the limbs, deha samaya. Otherwise, mere straightening of the body like that of a dried up tree is no equipoise. 116. Drishtim jnanmayi kirtva पश्येत ब्रह्ममयं जगत् सा दृष्टि परमोदाराने ना समग्रावलोकिनी. The covering the ordinary vision into one of knowledge, one should view the world as Brahma itself. That is the noblest vision and not that which is directed to the tip of the nose. Noblest vision because before it there is no distinction of high or low, great or small, since everything is merged in one all-pervading Brahma. दृश्यानां विरामो यत्र वा भवेत् दृष्टि सत्त्रैव कर्तव्यने न साग्रामवलोकिनी. Or one should direct one's vision to that alone where all distinction of the seer sight and the seen ceases, and not to the tip of the nose. To that is to Brahma, which is pure consciousness, and wherein alone ceases the distinction of the seer sight and the seen, that is priori tried of all perceptions, not to the tip of the nose. It is said that while seated for meditation, one is to gaze on the tip of the nose. This is from Gita chapter 13 stanza, Gita chapter 6 stanza 13, but one should not take it too literally, as in that case the mind will think not of Atma but of the nose. As a matter of fact, one is to concentrate one's mind on Atma alone, leaving aside all external things. This is why meditation of Atma is here emphasized and mere gazing on the tip of the nose is condemned. चित्तादि सर्वभावेषु ब्रह्मत्वेनैव भावनात् निरोधः सर्ववृत्त्यानां प्राणायाम से उच्यते. The restraint of all modifications of the mind by regarding all mental states like the chitta as Brahma alone is called pranayama. Stanza 119. निषेधनम परमपच्य से रेचकाख्य समीरणः ब्रह्मैवा समिति या वृत्ति पुरको वायो ऋत. Stanza 120. तत्सद्दिव्य चित्तनैश्चल्यं कुंभं प्राणसंयम अयं चापि प्रबुद्धानां ज्ञानां घ्राणपीडनम्. The negation of the phenomenal world is known as Rechaka, breathing out. The thought I am verily Brahma is called Puraka, breathing in, and the steadiness of that thought thereafter is called Kumbhaka, restraining the breath. This is the real course of Pranayama for the enlightened, whereas the ignorant only torture the nose. Pranayama, Patanjali describes it as controlling the motion of the exhalation and the inhalation. Chapter 2, stanza 49. There are three steps in it. The first step is to draw in the breath purka, the next is to hold it for some time in the lungs kumbhaka, and the last is to throw it out rechaka. Patanjali holds that the mind will be naturally controlled if its communications with the external world are cut off by restraining the breath. But Sankara here maintains that the breath is entirely dependent on the mind and not vice versa, so that instead of frittering away one's energy in the attempt of restraining the breath, one should always try to control the mind. When this is accomplished, the restraint of the breath will follow as a matter of course. Stanza 121. विशेषवात्मां दृष्ट्वा मनसिमज्जनं प्रतहारस्य विज्ञेयो भयसंयो मुमुक्षुभिः. The absorption of the mind in the supreme consciousness by realizing Atma in all objects is known as pratyahara, withdrawal of the mind, which should be practiced by the seekers after liberation. Pratyahara, when the senses giving up their own objects take the form of the mind as it were, it is pratyahara. But its consummation is reached only when the mind also is absorbed in the supreme consciousness. Stanza 122. Yatra yatra mano yati brahman satrat darshanat manso dharanam chaiv dharana saha paramataha. The steadiness of the mind through realization of Brahma, wherever the mind goes, is known as the supreme dharana, concentration. The supreme dharana says Patanjali, is holding the mind on to some particular object. Chapter 3, stanza 1. But when the mind is fully concentrated on every object, it comes in contact with realizing it as Brahma and discarding the names and forms that have been superimposed on it by ignorance. Then alone one is said to have reached the culmination of dharana. Stanza 123. Brahmaiva samiti sadutraya niralambattaya sititi dhyana shabdena vikhyata paramanandayini. Remaining independent of everything as a result of the unassailable thought, I am verily Brahma, is well known by the word dhyana, meditation, and is productive of supreme bliss. Dhyana, an unbroken flow of thought in some particular object, is dhyana. Patanjali chapter 3, stanza 2. But it is perfected only when merges all thought in Brahma, realizing it to be one's own self. Stanza 124. Nirvikartaya virtaya brahmakartaya hapana virti visamaranam samyak samadhi gyan sanjak. The complete forgetfulness of all thought by first making it changeless and then identifying it with Brahma is called samadhi, known also as knowledge. Known also as knowledge, samadhi is by no means a state of unconsciousness, notwithstanding the absence of all objective thoughts in it. The pure consciousness is always there. To deny the presence of consciousness in any state is a sheer impossibility, since it is the very self of the person who denies it. Samadhi is therefore rightly called knowledge. Stanza 125. इमच्चाकृत्रिमानन्दं तावत् साधु संभयसेत् वश्यो यावतः अक्षणात् पुंसः पर्युक्तः सन् भवेत् स्वयं. The aspirant should carefully practice this meditation that reveals his natural bliss until, being under his full control, it arises spontaneously in an instant when called into action. Stanza 126. Tatay sadhana nirmuktah siddho bhavati yogirat tat savrupam chetasai visyo manso giram. Then he, the best among yogis, having attained to perfection, becomes free from all practices. The real nature of such a man never becomes an object of the mind or speech, becomes free from all practices. The various practices prescribed here and elsewhere are merely means to the realization of one's own unity with Brahma and are no longer necessary when such realization has been accomplished. The Gita also declares, for one who has been well established in yoga, inaction is said to be the way, chapter 6, stanza 3. The real nature of such a man, the Shruti declares, he who realizes the Supreme Brahma verily becomes Brahma. Mandokya Upanishad, chapter 3.2.9. His nature also merges in that of Brahma, which is beyond mind and speech. Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad, chapter 2, stanza 9. Stanza 127. Samadho kriyamane tu vignanayanti vaibalat anusandhan rahitve malasyam bhoglalasam. Stanza 128. Laksya mastam vikshepo rasa swadascha sunyatah evam yad vighanam bahulyam tyajam brahmavidasanai. While practicing samadhi, there appear unavoidably many obstacles such as lack of inquiry, idleness, desire for sense pleasure, sleep, dullness, distraction, tasting of joy, and the sense of blankness. One desiring the knowledge of Brahma should slowly get rid of such innumerable obstacles. Tasting of joy. After some progress is made in the path of spirituality, there arises in the mind of the aspirant a kind of pleasurable feeling as a result of concentration. This, however, greatly hinders his spiritual progress as it robs him of all enthusiasm for further practice. The sense of blankness. This is a state of mental torpidity resulting from a conflict of desire. Stanza 129. Bhav vertya hi bhavatvam, sunne vertya hi sunyata, brahma vertya hi purnatattvam, tatha purnatav abhiseti. While thinking of an object, the mind verily identifies itself with that, and while thinking of a void, it really becomes a blank, whereas by the thought of Brahma, it attains to perfection. So one should constantly think of Brahma to attain perfection. One should constantly think of etc. Whatever one thinks, one becomes. So one desiring to attain to perfection should leave aside all thought of duality and fix one's mind upon the non-dual Brahma, which alone is perfect. Stanza 130. Ye hi virtim jahati yenam brahmakhya pavanim pram virthavite tu jivanti pasubhischa samanaraha. Those who give up this supremely purifying thought of Dharma live in vain and are on the same level with beasts. On the same level with beast, man has the unique opportunity of realizing Brahma and thus becoming free from the bondage of ignorance. But if he does not avail himself of this opportunity, he can hardly be called a man, as there remains nothing to distinguish him from the lower animals. Stanza 131. ये हि व्यक्तिं विजानन्ति ज्ञात्वापि वर्धयन्ति ये ते वै सत्पुरुषा धन्या वन्द्यास्ते भुवनत्रये. Blessed indeed are those virtuous persons who at first have this consciousness of Dharma and then develop it more and more. They are respected everywhere, have this consciousness of Dharma, etc. After long practice, the aspirant at first realizes while in Samadhi the presence of Brahma which pervades the inner and the outer world, but this is not at all. He should then hold on this Brahmic consciousness until he feels his identity with Brahma at every moment and thus becomes completely free from the bonds of all duality and ignorance. This is the consummation of spiritual practice. Stanza number 132. येषां व्यक्तिः समाविर्धा परिपक्का स चैषा पुनः ते वै सद्ब्रह्मतां प्राप्ते नेत्रे शब्दवादिनः. Only those in whom this consciousness of Dharma being ever present grows into maturity attain to the state of ever existent Dharma, and not others who merely deal with words. This consciousness that Brahma alone is the reality pervading our whole being, deal with words, engage themselves in fruitless discussions about Brahma by variously interpreting text bearing upon it. Stanza 133. Kushla Brahmavartayam Virtihina Suragana Te Yagyantaya Nunam Punrayanti Yanti cha. Also, those persons who are only clever in discussing about Brahma but have no realization and are very much attached to worldly pleasures are born and die again and again, and in consequence of their ignorance. Stanza 134. निमेषार्दने तिष्ठन्ति व्यक्तिं ब्रह्मैविना यथा तिष्ठन्ति ब्रह्माद्या सनकादासुकादय. The aspirant after Brahma should not remain a single moment without the thought of Brahma, just like Brahma, Sanaka, Sukha and others should not remain, etc. To be ever immersed in Brahmic consciousness and thus identify oneself with it is the final aim of Raja Yoga. With this verse ends the exposition of Raja Yoga in the light of Vedanta. We may mention here in passing that although there is no vital difference between Raja Yoga as expounded here and as found in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali so far as the final realization is concerned, yet there is much difference in the practices. Patanjali has prescribed the control of the body and prana prior to the practice of meditation, whereas the author here emphasizes the meditation of Brahma from the very beginning and thus wants to lead the aspirant state to the goal. कार्ये कारणतयाता कारणे नहि कार्यता कारणत्वं ततो गच्छेत कार्याभावे विचारतः. The nature of the cause inheres in the effect and not vice versa. So through reasoning it is found that in the absence of the effect the cause as such as disappears. In the absence of the effect, etc., the cause and the effect are correlative. As long as there is an effect, there is a cause for it. But when the effect is altogether absent, the cause as such can no longer exist, as there remains nothing with reference to which it may be called a cause. Stanza 136. Atshuddham bhaved vastu yadvai vacham gocharam drashtavyam mridvatenaiv drashtanten punah punah. Then that pure reality, Brahma, which is beyond speech alone remains. This should be understood again and again verily through the illustration of earth and the pot. The illustration of earth and the pot, the illustration runs thus: just as, my dear, my knowing a lump of earth, everything made of earth is known. The modifications are mere names originated by speech, earth alone is the reality, etc. Chandogya Upanishad chapter 6.1.4. Here also the phenomenal world exists only in name. Brahma alone is the reality. Stanza number 137. अनेनैव प्रकारेण वृत्ति ब्रह्मात्मिका भवेत् उदेति शुद्धचित्तानां वृत्तिज्ञानं तत्परमः. In this way alone there arises in the pure-minded a state of awareness of Brahma, which is afterwards merged into Brahma. In this way alone, etc., by constant practice of contemplation and discrimination, there dawns on the mind of the aspirant the knowledge that Brahma alone is and nothing else exists. Thus the ignorance which has so long deluded him by projecting the world of duality comes to an end. Thereafter the mind also, which by destroying ignorance has brought the aspirant so close to Brahma, vanishes like the fire which after consuming its fuel is itself extinguished. Then Brahma alone shines in its own glory. Stanza number 138. Karanam vyatirekena pumanadau vilokayet annevayan punaspidhi karye nityam parpashyati. One should first look for the cause by the negative method and then find it by the positive method, as ever inherent in the effect. One should, etc. The cause can be inferred either from a positive or from a negative proposition. The positive proposition is where there is an effect, there must be a cause, and the negative one is where there is no cause, there is no effect. From either proposition we come to the conclusion that there is Brahma, which is the cause of the world phenomenon. For if there were no Brahma cause, then there would be no world at all. Again, there is the world effect, therefore there is Brahma cause. Stanza number 139. कार्ये हि कारणं पश्येत् पश्चात् कार्यं विसर्जयेत् कारणत्वं ततो गच्छे वसिष्ठं भवेन मुनिः. One should verily see the cause in the effect and then dismiss the effect altogether. What then remains, the sage himself becomes. An alternative method is suggested here. What then remains, etc., when both cause and effect have thus disappeared? One may naturally conclude that only Sunya, a void, is left behind, but it is not so, for absolute negation is an impossibility. One may negate everything but cannot negate one's own self. So when causality has been negated, what is beyond all negation is the very self of the enquirer, which is the ultimate reality. Stanza number 140. Bhavitam tivarvegain yuddhastu nisyatamna pumastiddhi bhavechigram geyam bharmar kitvatah. A person who meditates upon a thing with great assiduity and firm conviction becomes that very thing. This may be understood from the illustration of the wasp and the worm. This may be understood, etc. It is a popular belief that when a wasp brings into its hole a particular kind of insect, the latter, out of fear, constantly thinks of its assailant till it is transformed into a wasp. So also, if a person meditates upon Brahma with all his mind, he will become Brahma in course of time. Stanza number 141. Adrishyam bhavarupascha sarvamev chidatmakam savdhantaya nityam svatmanam bhavayet buddha. The wise should always think with great care of the invisible, the visible, and everything else as his own self, which is consciousness itself. Stanza 142. Drishyam have drishyatam nitva brahmakaran chintayet vidvani te sukhe tisthedya chindra sapurnaya. Having reduced the visible to the invisible, the wise should think of the universe as one with Brahma. Thus alone will be abide in eternal felicity with the mind full of consciousness and bliss. Having reduced the visible, etc., a person may at first take some external thing as an object of his meditation, but he should afterwards think of it as existing only in the form of the mind. And lastly, the mind also should be reduced to Brahma, which is a pure consciousness. Then alone one is said to have reached the highest goal. Stanza number 143. Abhirangai samayukto rajyog udahirte kinchit patpayanam hat yogain sanyuktam. Thus has been described Raj Yoga, consisting of these steps mentioned above. With this is to be combined Hatha Yoga for the benefit of those whose worldly desires are partially attenuated. These steps, the 15 steps mentioned in verses 100 to 134, with this is to be combined Hatha Yoga, etc. This Raj Yoga, which is purely psychological in its character, is extremely difficult to be practiced by those who have not yet overcome the physical disabilities and banished the carnal appetites from the mind and thus made it pure. To them, therefore, Hatha Yoga, or the yoga that teaches physical control together with a little concentration, is at first very helpful. For they may thereby get control over their external and internal nature, and thus may in course of time become fit for the practice of this Raja Yoga. Stanza 144. परिपक्वं मनो येषां केवलोऽयं च सिद्धिदः गुरुदेवी भक्तानां सर्वेषां सुलभोजवात्. For those whose mind is completely purified, this Raj Yoga alone is productive of perfection. Purity of the mind again is speedily accessible to those who are devoted to the teacher and the deity. Those who are devoted, etc., those who have implicit faith in the words of the Guru and have unflinching devotion to their chosen deity, become free from all doubts and thus easily acquire concentration, which directly leads them to the realization of the highest truth. So here ends this chapter. Thank you, my dear friends, for listening and watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. So here the book Aproksha Anubhuti by Adi Shankaracharya is completed. Thanks a lot. Namaskar. Namaskar. Please share these videos to maximum people so that our Sanatana Dharma spreads to all the parts of the globe. People are attacking our Sanatana Dharma. It is our basic duty to preserve the knowledge of our sages. The basic meaning of making this video is just to spread the message of our holy sages and preserve the knowledge of Sanatana Dharma. There is no other purpose. Basically, it is to preserve the knowledge of Sanatana Dharma. Thanks a lot. Namaskar.